Mike Ashley's a criminal. We're not deluded. We're not ridiculous against Ashley. We want him out. We want our magnificent club back. He knows nothing about football, knows nothing about the city, knows nothing about the club, knows nothing about the fans, knows nothing about any footballer in the world. We've had to rely on the crap he's brought through 10 years now. 10 years. Misery. Complete misery.
Good evening. Tonight we talk to a very passionate Newcastle fan about the current running and the state of his club, not only on the pitch, but off it. Sam has been a Newcastle fan ever since he can remember. And tonight I'm going to talk to him about what really matters, how he thinks his club can improve, and what he thinks can happen in the future. Right, so we're going to start by welcoming lifetime Newcastle fan Sam here. Sam, welcome to the debate.
Thanks for having me, thank you.
I chose you. I know a lot of Newcastle fans. I could have chose family, I could have chose close, like friends I've known since like day one, but I've chose you because you're the most passionate man.
You got that right there, yes. Yeah.
I know about Newcastle United because not only on Twitter, but our friends and in general, you are very passionate about the running of your football club.
I do. It's a very sensitive issue for me and a lot of fans, I believe. Close to the heart. You know, yeah, it's just horrible, really.
Yeah, well, I do know how passionate you are to the fact that your Instagram profile picture is Ashley out.
Yeah.
And I think I chose the right person for this debate because we're going to be talking about Mr. Ashley in this. And why do you what do you have against Ashley? Let's just get some stuff out of the window.
Well, you see, I'm going to take a huge answer. Mike Ashley's a criminal. It's not only with the way he's running the club, it's with the way he runs his business. He is an absolute crook. The way he treats his workers.
That is
it's absolutely disgusting.
That's a very bold statement.
A few years ago, you had MPs comparing his Sports Direct warehouses to Victorian workhouses. That's disgusting in this day and age.
That is very disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting.
So, what are you here? Why are you here?
Well, I just want to get the message across. And some people don't understand why we feel so passionate as a fan base, as a group.
So, what you're saying is that you're speaking on behalf of the fans of Newcastle United. Right, I understand that. I'm here, no word of a lie, I am here to not to support or defend Mike Ashley, I'm here to deflect. Some people say that there's a lot of blame put on Mr. Ashley. I can agree to an extent. I think that there is a lot to be held and a lot to go towards him. However, I do think that he is a tiny bit hard done by. And would you say that's fair?
No, well, you got to factor in other things as well. But I mean, at the top, it's always the owner. It's always Ashley.
Well, I've had my problems with my Ashley as well. As you know, I'm a Glasgow Rangers fan. To be fair, I'm on a crossroads with my Ashley because on one hand, he's I'm going to use the fans' words here, destroying your club.
Exactly, yeah.
A lot of people have said that, but what I don't get, because on one hand I can see where you're coming from, but on the other hand, he saved my football club. If it wasn't for Mike Ashley sticking his hand in his pocket and putting shares into my football club, I would have no one to support. My club wouldn't exist. We would have been liquidised, and that would have been Rangers Football Club 1872 to 2012.
Well, that's true, but you know, why is he so afraid to put his hand in his pocket for us? If that's the case, like, well, what's stopping him? He's got a brilliant city, a brilliant population, fantastic football fans. What's stopping him? There's nothing stopping him.
It's funny you say about the city because we'll get back on Ashley in a moment. On TalkSport, I heard a recent interview. It was Danny Murphy, I believe, ex-Fulham player, talk about the Newcastle fans being ridiculous towards Ashley, saying that there's nothing else to do in Newcastle.
Yes, they got a lot of people through the gate. I'm not denying that, but that doesn't make you a big club just because you get 52,000 people through the gate.
Correct.
When there's practically nothing else to do on a Saturday afternoon.
They are a big club.
You are correct, Moose, regarding what you've said.
Hang on, Danny, they're a big club.
Newcastle are well supported, but they're not a big club.
They're not.
Thank
What?
you.
They're not
Thank you.
Newcastle.
They're not a big club.
No, they're a team that yo-yos between the Championship and the Premier League.
So what constitutes a big club? What you've won?
Success and worldwide support.
Exactly what I said on Friday. You
Worldwide
don't-
support.
Listen, last time I checked, you didn't go to Spain and see people walking up and down the promenade or on the beach wearing Newcastle.
It depends.
You do with Liverpool, Man United.
Yeah.
Yes, you even do with Rangers.
You
and
see
Celtic.
people
There we
wearing
go.
Newcastle
But
shirts,
No,
Ian.
you don't. Oh no, you
Oh,
don't.
yeah,
Jim
you
White.
do.
No, you don't.
I wanted to get your opinion. What's your interpretation on that?
I'll be honest,
What do
I
you
think
feel about that?
Murphy's the deluded one, really. How can you call such a passionate... It's passion, it's not delusion, it is passion. We want our club back. We're not deluded, we're not ridiculous against Ashley. We want him out, we want our magnificent club back. Want back those European seasons. Want back those cup runs. We need it, as a city, as a club.
I've obviously lived in the northeast for
Yeah.
literally all my life. I've been raised in Durham, like, ever since I was down there, and trust me, that was a long time ago. And I understand, even from a person who only got into football only about 5 years ago, I understand where some of the fans are coming from, because this community, the cities of Sunderland, Newcastle, Middlesbrough, they're all directed. They see football as a religion. And St James's Park Stadium, like even Roker Park, were all classed as the church. It brings the people together, and this is something I got first hand when Sunderland got into the League Cup final in 2014. I actually went. The city of not only Sunderland but Durham completely changed because it brought everyone together. Because football was going places for the certain teams. And I bet it was the same so many years ago when you was winning the Europa League or the Intertoto Cup or the UEFA Cup, whatever it was called.
Champions League, early 2000s.
I know that would have brought the city as a whole together because they were all backing the same 11 people to do not only the fans proud but the city proud, put Newcastle per se back on the map.
Exactly.
The people in the city and the people around the outskirts, you go to like Wallsend, Byker, Whitley Bay, the people there, they will understand what it means to be part of Newcastle United.
Exactly,
Would you
yeah.
agree?
Yeah, exactly. The passion in those areas for the football club is it's outstanding. We deserve better. I mean, we've got, I'm going to say, I'm not being biased, we've got definitely top 3 fans in the country. Top 3 supporters.
So. I also want to touch on this. This is a short little thing I want to touch on. The noisy neighbours, as I'm going to call them, Sunderland. Would you say, when Ellis Short was part, could you do you think that made them understand what you as Newcastle are going through? Because Ellis Short was not putting any money in and just being completely unfair.
I mean, yeah, it did, because, I mean, it's just so similar what they've done. They took over, they came in with the ambition, they took over 2 teams, working class area of the country, fantastic fan bases. They've just absolutely destroyed them. I mean, I can completely sympathise. I don't often say this, but I can sympathise with Sunderland fans in that regard. That's disgusting. He shouldn't have been allowed to do what he did.
I completely agree. And Stuart Donald, thankfully, Sunderland have finally got, or what it looks to be, a chairman that really cares about the club and the people. Something that every football club wishes to have as a chairman, someone who understands the fans, the history, the tradition of the club. I'm going to start off by a Sky Sports interview. This was in 2015. The game, I don't remember the exact date, but it was the final day of the 2014-15 Premier League season. Newcastle against West Ham. This was Mike Ashley's first ever open interview, and it was on Sky Sports. And I believe you were there. Were you there?
We weren't at the match, no.
But you see?
We saw the interview live, yeah.
And what did you think of that interview?
Well, at the time, I mean, I thought it was a turning point. I thought he'd finally come out of the shadows to actually shed some light on what's going on. Turns out it was all lies. He completely lied with everything he said. Everything he's said since then, he's completely lied.
Well,
it's just rubbish.
That's a very bold statement, Sam.
He's just a liar. He's a lying criminal is what he is. Shouldn't be allowed to be in the position he's in, at all.
Well, I've got a few quotes from said interview. The first thing he said is, he was asked, is it a collective responsibility or does it stop at your door? And his response was, my door. Would you say that's fair? That he's taken, he's not saying that it's a collective responsibility, he's saying that anything that goes wrong with the football club is going towards him.
Well, he is the owner, he is in charge of, he oversees everything. He's done a pretty crap job of doing it, but he oversees everything.
Would you say it's his job to be one-on-one with the manager and who all the managerial decisions, like who gets appointed, who gets sacked, and
No, I think a few other people must have a say in that. I mean,
because Ashley said in that it's not his decision what happens with the manager. It's up to Lee Charnley and the board to decide who comes into the club managerial wise.
well, they're all mates. They're all in cahoots. Ashley and Charnley are in cahoots. Whatever one says, the other one agrees. They don't go against each other. They know exactly what they're both going to say.
For this stopping at my door, this is the main one because Mike Ashley gets what he's saying. All the collective criticism goes towards him, and all the responsibility goes towards him. However, I have to say that I don't think that's the case because sometimes I do get where they're coming from. I do get where the fans are coming from. I understand that there's rumours of Rafa Benitez being unhappy about the transfer policy. However, I'd say because that game was, if Newcastle lost that game and Hull won, Newcastle relegated. But that wasn't to be on that day. But I'd say that it's not really his responsibility because he can't manage he can't decide what happens on the pitch in the 90 minutes. So if the players aren't doing the right thing, and if they're not doing their bit, if they're not giving their all, perhaps that's why Newcastle are finding themselves in relegation battles in seasons on end. And I think that it's not only that, but I think that some of the players that have been brought in, they've said in interviews like they understand what the club is about, but they completely don't. Because they're saying stuff like they understand it's a very big club and they want to give their all, but I've seen many Newcastle matches and I've only seen the collective few do as promised.
Well, yeah, but recently I'd say, last few years, with Rafa at the helm, we've been seeing a lot more effort on the players' behalf. With managers like McLaren, Pardew, Carver, you don't get that effort. They don't instill that work ethic like Rafa does. Rafa has been there, done it. He won the Champions League with Liverpool. That's a Champions League winning manager. He's going to get effort from the players. It's just he is doing the best with what he's been given in terms of the transfer policy.
I understand that. And Rafa, you're going on about him winning the Champions League. He has a very good CV with a big name like Real Madrid and winning titles with Valencia, and then all of a sudden to go from at the time 10 time Champions League winning side to Newcastle United at the foot of the first division. And I didn't see it coming. When I heard about rumours, I was completely gobsmacked because I didn't see why he would take such a bold move, and I didn't think he was a Ashley kind of manager, because to go from Steve McLaren to Rafa Benitez, someone who couldn't take England's golden generation to a European tournament, to a Champions League winning manager. That is a massive transition.
It is. It really is. I mean, he loves Newcastle. It's obvious every time he speaks, every time he talks. He loves the fans, he loves the people, he loves the city. He thinks it's absolutely wonderful. He gets it. He gets what's going on. So, I mean, that's obviously the most enticing thing for him. That's why he hasn't walked off. He sees the potential with the club. That's why he hasn't walked off. He knows what we can do.
I thought he was going to walk away when
a couple of times.
I thought that's what that was the case, but no, he stuck with you in the Championship, brought you back. However, that first season back in the Premier League, I thought they were going to go straight back down due to the fact that you could have a world-class manager, but you need the players to back it up.
Exactly, yeah.
To finish 10th with what would normally finish mid-table in a Championship, that's quite an achievement. And I do understand that there was a big points difference between the 9th and just above the relegation zone. However, to finish 10th with that sort of player,
it's absolutely unbelievable.
I'm
still in shock how he did it. I mean, obviously I've got a season ticket. I saw every single home match. I mean, he got them after Christmas. I was like, that's it, we're staying up. We played absolutely brilliant. The effort after Christmas, absolutely superb. Especially.
Some people are saying to have Rafa out, not because of they understand the mentality, but it's the style of football that he plays. Some people are labelling Rafa Benitez's style of football as boring and overly defensive. What would you say to that?
I'd say it's effective, to be honest, for the most part, because you see managers like Lambert going on television criticising the way he's playing against Chelsea. When he took his Villa side to Chelsea, got beat 8-0, played attacking. I mean, he hasn't got a clue what he's on about. If you're going to a big team, playing away against someone much more rich than you, you're gonna have to go defensive. Otherwise, he'll get tonked every week. I mean, what else can Rafa do? Because you look at the squad, look at the attacking options in that squad. We've been after a centre forward for years. You can see why. We're relying on loan signings from a club that's just gone down. How ludicrous is that? Rondon, he's come in. He's done nought so far. Hosselu, 2 years ago, came in. How many goals did he score? That's 5, 6, something like that last season.
Slimani.
Slimani was the worst of the lot. Slimani came in, got himself suspended, got himself injured, and just buggered off again. It shouldn't be happening. A club of our size, but we demand. I know people think we demand too much. We don't. We demand a club that can score goals, compete a little bit. It's not with the big boys, not in the top 4. Top half every season, I'd be happy with. I think I speak for most fans there.
Newcastle has the cart, the financial cart, to go places. However, there's no point having a fancy cart if you don't have the Bolton horse. You need the Bolton horse to back up the
That's absolutely true, yeah.
cart.
That is absolutely true. But what he's got to do, he's got to invest more of that wealth. Because, I mean, what's the point of being a multi-billionaire, owning a football club, and just all he needs to do is just put a little bit in. Just push the club on their way, get them to bigger things. He just flat out refuse. I don't know where the money's going. I mean, I know that's a common theme, but where's the money gone? Where has it gone?
He has said in interviews before that he's putting all the money, in his words, every last penny that he owns in Newcastle United Football Club.
Well, that's just wrong. He just hasn't. He's just lied completely. He has not put every penny he owns in our club at all.
Right, that's
just,
very interesting.
It's just...
Because I checked his net worth just before we started filming. His net worth is the $3.3 billion, the equivalent. And last season, Newcastle's turnover for not last season, the season before when you got promoted from the Championship, the turnover to increase to £35 million. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, to be honest.
And last season, Rafa spent over 19 million, and it hasn't really come to much use.
19 million, that's not on par with most other clubs in the league at the minute. You see teams like Bournemouth, Huddersfield spending more than that. I mean, it just
90 million could get you a very good centre forward.
Yeah, but what we need to do, we need to improve all areas of the squad. We can't just spend 19 million on a centre forward, keep the crap at the back like Clark. I don't know who else, Shaw. You need to improve the whole squad. I mean, I know we've been after a centre forward for what seems like years. Last good centre forward we had, Cisse. I mean, he got lucky. Pardew, when he signed Cisse, got lucky. No one knew a thing about who Cisse was. He just came out of nowhere. He just got lucky.
Well, that was the whole Newcastle United practically being a French club because of the amount of signings from across the channel.
There was something going on there, yeah.
But however, I'd say your defence isn't that bad. If I'd say many games I've watched of Newcastle, they can be very tight at the back. However, in the last 3 quarters of the match, they just seem to switch off. But I think that if they could boot the ball upfield, say Paul Dummett got the ball and he hoofed the ball straight upfield to a centre forward who could finish and who could put the ball in the back of the net consistently, I'd say that the problems for points wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't say you are in the relegation zone where you'd be today.
Yeah, I mean, centre forward, you need them. You need a centre forward who can kick a ball in the forwards direction. That costs about 20 million quid now. I think Rafa said it himself. I mean, you have people like Hosselu. Hosselu would be a good championship striker. Gale was sent down there, good championship striker. Darryl Murphy, I mean, that's going back to championship. Brilliant championship striker. But we need to push on. We can't be relying on these people.
Newcastle's been fond of that, buying players fond and known to be successful in the championship. However, you could be the championship's answer to Lionel Messi, but you could be nowhere near as good in the Premier League because the Premier League's a whole new ball game.
It's a whole step up, yes.
Type of play than in the Football League. And I'd say that if Rafa, as you say, if he's getting the right money, because as you're very passionate about, you said that he's not.
He's not at all, no.
If he was getting, what would you say would be the right money? What do you think he should be spending a season?
Just look at a team like Everton. Look at a team like even Leicester. I'd say I don't like the fans of Leicester. I think they're plastic.
Everton aren't doing very well.
Everton at the minute aren't doing well, but the money they're spending, absolutely, it's bonkers.
They bought 5 number 10s last season.
The money they've spent is just. We should be on par with clubs like Everton in terms of spending. Clubs like should be spending more than Leicester easily. Look at the size of our club.
However, Everton have been. Yes, they've spent the money, but they're spending money in the same position. They bought 7 attacking players, expecting all to play. You can't play 7 people up front.
That is true, but look at the money they've got's the problem compared to the money we've got to spend. I mean, where is the money we've got to spend? We've got a billionaire owner. I mean, I don't know how rich Everton's owner is, but it's got to be around the same, surely.
This is a quote from Ashley himself from the 22nd of September this year. He says, I've put my £250 million into the club. There's no more from me. My wealth is all in Sports Direct shares. I don't have that money in the bank, so I don't have the ability to write a cheque for £200 million.
Well, he clearly hasn't put all that money in the club. We'd have a bigger transfer budget, surely. Rafa would not hesitate to spend money if he had it. So, you'd think, you must be lying. There's no way there's that much money in our club whatsoever. Look at the stadium. The stadium is falling to pieces. It is dirty, it is disgusting. Have you been in?
No,
it is. The facilities in that stadium, they're just must be the worst in the league. Must be the worst in the league.
Well, I've been into inside. I've been all the way up to the top floor of Newcastle, and inside the facilities, and it looks aesthetically great. Everything looks perfect and how it is. Like the room that I had to go in, I couldn't see anything wrong with it. It was anything hospitality would need.
Well, were you in like a VIP suite? Yeah, that would have probably explained it, to be honest. For supporters who have a season ticket, who go week in, week out, the facilities, the toilets, the concessions, everything, they're just it's absolutely filthy.
Do you think you should have facilities on par of the likes of Arsenal, where even the away fans? I've been lucky enough to go to the Emirates myself, and the away fans have padded seats. Do you think that and that's for the whole stadium? Do you think that St James's Park should be facility-wise on par with people like the Emirates and the Etihad or Old Trafford?
I mean, yes and no. You don't want to go over the top with all the comfortable seats. It's a football stadium, not a cinema. But I mean, you just want... It needs a bit of a tidy up. It just needs a tidy up. It's just... I'm sure it has not changed. The insides of that stadium have not changed since it was renovated, since it was expanded all those years ago. It just has not changed. They haven't bothered to clean it up whatsoever.
Do you think... Would you be upset if Ashley turned around and put his money into renovating... Well, not renovating, but making St James's Park a bit cleaner, looking a bit new?
Oh, there needs to be the divide. He needs to put money into the club, like the facilities, the stadium. He needs to put plenty of money into there. Then the money he's got left over, which will be plenty, put it into the transfer budget, spend a bit of money, break that club record signing.
He'd say, he also said he would have to sell every single one of his Sports Direct shares to fund the 200 million that Newcastle require.
No, I don't think he will. He'll easily have that sort of money. He will not need to sell all of his Sports Direct shares whatsoever. He is a multi-billionaire. He will have that money. The income he makes, he will have that money. Easily.
Do you think he'll be going anytime soon?
I hope to God. I really, on behalf of the whole club, I hope to God. But I can't see it happening. I cannot see it happening.
Well, in his words, going right to the beginning of the interview, when I mentioned his first interview with Sky Sports, he said he won't be going anywhere until we win something. And that was, he said that if they're in a position to qualify for the Champions League, that counts as winning something.
Well, that's not going to happen unless he puts the funds into the club to spend on players. We're not going to get anywhere with the crap we have to play with at the minute. It's absolutely abysmal. We need that extra investment. Then we can get the Champions League place. Then we can get the good cup runs. And God knows what else. We could be a fantastic club if he just puts a bit of care into it, puts a bit of money in. We'd actually go places. We could be really good.
Would you say that statement there that I just mentioned, would you say that's the same scenario of him trying to chop down a tree without actually having the wood to make an axe?
Exactly, yeah. He needs to provide the club with the tools to achieve those demands. Like, it is ridiculous for him to come out and say, we need to do this, this and this. Just not provide anything to help them. Just watch them fail year after year, hoping for a fluke like Leicester or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Personally, do you think that he's a man on his word saying that he won't go anywhere until you eventually win something?
I think there's a chance of him caving in at some point, but I can't see it happening at the minute. I can see him just starving the club year after year, hoping for something like a Leicester, like a decent cup run. His demands that he has for the club are absolutely ridiculous, especially when he doesn't put the funds in. It's stupid.
Question. Do you want him to stay until you win something?
Oh no, I want him to get out soon as possible. Soon as possible.
And would you say that's what you just said? If I went around Newcastle, I would get the same response from every single person.
Well, there's always within a club. There's always people who agree with this, agree with that. The vast majority of people want rid of him. He's just a scum. He is just scum in the city. He needs to get out. He's not welcome.
If we were to run a survey from Newcastle fans, would you say over 90% of the public would say that they want Ashley gone?
At the minute, yes, definitely. I mean, a few years ago, no, people thought he'd change, with that whole interview and stuff, but now it's become clear he isn't going to change at all. It's just need him to get out.
It's just a message to the fans. Today, we don't need to be unlucky, but from this day forward, we will definitely be making our own luck. What do you say to that?
Well, luck's got to be a factor, but he can't just rely on luck. He needs to push the club. He needs to push them further. It's all well and good. We're just staying up every season. Fantastic. We're not going down. He needs to push. Last season, finished 10th with that squad. Look where we could get if we had decent backing. We could get Europa League easily. Easily, the next few seasons, with decent backing, decent players, easy. Absolutely easy.
It's been 10 years since Kevin Keegan walked out on Newcastle United, allegedly due to Mike Ashley.
Exactly, yeah.
10 years ago, did you still think he'd still be there?
I knew it would last a while. It was a horrible feeling. We all knew it would last a while, but...
Did you think it would last over a decade?
No, I thought he would have caved in. I thought he would have gone off. He would have done what he wanted to do, wrecked the club. I always knew he was going to wreck the club. He would have done what he needed to do with Sports Direct. He would have gone off to find somewhere else. Wrecked them. Same again. Same story.
House of Fraser, he recently bought. A lot of Newcastle fans are angry that he's more recently bought a whole main high street shop instead of investing into the football club. What was your reaction to him buying House of Fraser?
I mean, he's a businessman, but he's also a football club owner. His first priority should be owning a football club. Number one priority. He's acting like it's if he wants to be a businessman, he should just have nothing to do with football. He should buy his clothes shops, do whatever he needs to do.
Stick to what he knows.
Exactly. He knows nothing about football, knows nothing about the city, knows nothing about the club, knows nothing about the fans, knows nothing about any footballer in the world. We've had to rely on the crap he's brought through 10 years now. 10 years. Misery. Complete misery.
Do you think that this time next year we will be talking about Newcastle United with a new person right at the very top of the pecking order, on the way up, potentially fighting for Europa League?
Next year, no. It'll take some time. It'll take some time to rebuild from what we've had to go through. I mean, we keep Rafa. If we keep Rafa, the sky's the limit. Rafa Benitez, one of the best managers in the world, one of the best managers of all time. If we keep him, the places we can go. European nights. I cannot wait to see European nights back at St James's. I cannot wait. Just looking forward to it.
What's your message to people out there who think that Rafa should go? The Rafa out brigade, as they're called.
Well, they're deluded. They're absolutely deluded. You can't get at the manager. He's doing so well with the tools he's got. Finished 10th. I know I keep going back to he finished 10th with that side. That's ridiculous. Any other manager, most other managers could not do that. Rafa is a fantastic manager. He's proved it time and time again. This season, his tactics have been coming under the cosh. I mean, I think he's done absolutely brilliantly. I mean, I don't get the complaints. I do not get the complaints. If we keep him, the places we can go, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
On the other side of the spectrum, would you say that people, the campaign, it's massive on Twitter. I think you know what I'm on about. If Rafa goes, we go.
That's only if Ashley is still there. It's the only way to stop the club getting the money. If he stops getting the income from the club, he will walk. He will walk. If Rafa is gone next year and we still have that fat bastard at the top, I swear to God. we're not going to go. I'm no way am I giving money to him anymore. If we're going to have to go week in, week out, watch that style of football, watch those players, no way.
If Rafa goes, do you go?
Aye, 100%. Well, you see the protests are massive now before every home game. You get Rangers fans there. You get Rangers fans there just as passionate as us. I mean, that's really good to see. Two clubs coming together, brought together under the same ownership. It's brilliant in that regard. But he should be starting to take notice. The boycotting of Sports Direct. Surely it's got to be harming his business. Surely. It will be very soon. Trust me.
Would you be upset if Dave Whelan came in, if Rafa walked and Dave Whelan took charge of Newcastle United?
Well, I wouldn't be as upset as I would be if Rafa walked and Ashley was still there. But Rafa is the hope of this club. Rafa is the future. If we keep Rafa... Ashley goes, anyone else comes in, anyone at all who'd be willing to put that extra bit into the club, put that extra bit of funds into the club. Rafa Benitez he's a fantastic manager. We've seen Real Madrid, Napoli, Liverpool. With the money he's got, he can do brilliant things. He can do absolutely brilliant things. So I just say, give him the money, win some trophies. What's holding him back?
Bring the good times back.
Exactly. The entertainers of the late 90s. Mid-90s, late 90s. Fantastic. Ferdinand, even Beardsley, Clivert, yeah. Fantastic teams, fantastic names. There's no reason why we shouldn't be top end of English football. I'm not saying top 4. Top half of the Premier League every season. There's no reason why we shouldn't be finishing 7th, 8th, 9th. There's no reason. There's no reason. It's just, it comes down to him. It comes down to the money he refuses to put into the club.
So do you believe that he deserves to be behind bars?
He deserves to be out of business.
Not only for the way he's got his finances, but for the fact that he is allegedly breaching basic human rights.
He deserves to certainly be out of business. Whether it could include a bit of jail time, I'd be more than happy with that. He got away with so much over his time owning Newcastle, being head of Sports Direct. God knows what he's going to do with House of Fraser, but we'll just have to wait and see. He's probably going to find somewhere to get that wrong as well.
My last thing to touch on is, no doubt next time you walk up to St James's Park, you walk past the Strawberry or whatever, you will be rejoined by your, per se, Geordie brethren. What would you say, what would be your message to the fans regarding the situation?
Keep pushing, keep united, keep protesting, it's work, keep boycotting, it's all going to work. He won't be there forever. We're a city, he's one man, a whole population against one greedy fat man. He will be gone before you know it. He will be gone.